Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 29th of November. India's parliament passes farm laws repeal bill. Protesting farmers demand MSP law. Activists protest against rising inflation. Crumbling infrastructure in Pakistan administered Kashmir. And Taliban seek help in running Afghanistan airports in talks with EU delegates in Doha. And now for all the details. India's parliament on Monday passed a bill to repeal the three controversial farm laws amid uproar by the opposition demanding discussion over the legislation. The protesting farmers celebrated the development but said their year-long agitation would still continue over pending demands, including a law on minimum support price for all produce.
India's both lower and upper houses of parliament on Monday passed the Farm Laws Repeal Bill 2021 to revoke the three controversial farm laws, days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced his government would roll back the legislation which farmers have protested for more than a year. As Parliament reconvened for its winter session on Monday, India's Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar tabled the bill, which was passed without any discussion, which attracted loud protests from members of the opposition parties. The three farm laws introduced in September 2020 aimed at deregulating the agriculture sector had triggered nationwide protests. The legislation allowed farmers to sell produce to buyers beyond government-regulated wholesale markets. However, farmers feared they could have left them at the mercy of big private purchasers.
भारत सरकार ने पूरी संवेदनशीलता के साथ आंदोलनरत किसान संगठनों से चर्चा की और हमें दुख है कि उसके लाभ समझाने में हम सफल नहीं हुए.
The protesting farmers celebrated the development but said their year-long agitation at the borders of Indian capital New Delhi would only be called off when their other demands would be met, including a legislation ensuring minimum support prices or MSP for all their produce.
वो हो गया. अभी जो दूसरे और मामले हैं किसानों के, उस पर भी सरकार बातचीत कर रही है.
तो अगर सरकार बातचीत नहीं करती तो आंदोलन जारी रहेगा.
हाँ, हम बिना बातचीत के कहाँ जाएंगे भाई.
The government has not yet made any comment on the protesters' demand for MSP. The government currently buys rice and wheat at state-set prices, but it only benefits about 6% of India's millions of farmers.
India will make on-arrival COVID-19 testing mandatory from December 1st for flyers from more than a dozen countries, including South Africa and Britain, where the Omicron variant has been detected, the country's health ministry said on Monday. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also urged people to stay alert against the new coronavirus variant, which is now wreaking havoc across the globe.
Amid growing concerns about the new COVID-19 Omicron variant across the globe, the Indian government issued new guidelines for international passengers on Monday, making on-arrival COVID-19 testing mandatory from December 1st for flyers from more than a dozen countries, including South Africa, where the strain has been detected. As per the revised guidelines issued by the Health Ministry, additionally, 5% of all travellers from other countries will be randomly tested. If a passenger is tested positive for coronavirus at the airport, they will be isolated and treated as per clinical management protocol. Only asymptomatic travellers shall be allowed to board the flight after the thermal screening.
The surveillance is on, as has always been. So if it arrives in India, of course we'll come to know. But the situation, as you said, it has been observed in other countries like the Netherlands, Germany, and of course the hotspot has been South Africa. Their situation is a bit concerning. I would not say alarming.
The Omicron variant was first reported in Botswana on November 11 and appeared on November 14 in South Africa. According to health experts, the mutations in Omicron could help the virus evade the body's immune response and make it more transmissible. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing reporters on Monday, also urged people to stay alert against the new coronavirus variant and follow COVID-appropriate behavior.
And all schools and colleges were closed due to high air pollution levels in Indian capital as New Delhi's overall air quality plunged to severe category in recent weeks. As schools reopened once again from Monday, students seemed excited to attend the school while parents expressed fear of air pollution and COVID-19.
Schools reopened in New Delhi on Monday even as the pollution levels in the Indian capital remained a cause of concern for the government and the residents. Schools and colleges were closed for nearly 15 days due to a spike in air pollution. Delhi's foul air is putting more children in hospital with breathing problems, raising concerns among parents. Students who returned to the schools on Monday wore masks to protect themselves from the hazardous air hovering over the city.
ज़रूरी था, पेपर्स वगैरह आ रहे हैं एंड ऑल, तो उसके लिए पढ़ाई वगैरह बहुत ज़रूरी है, रिवीजन ज़रूरी है, इसलिए आई गेस स्कूल को खोलना ज़रूरी था।
लेकिन पोल्यूशन अभी भी कम नहीं हुआ है, पोल्यूशन अभी भी वैसे ही है।
तो मास्क वास्क लगा के और जितना अपना प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो उतना प्रोटेक्ट करो, पढ़ने के लिए तो कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ करना पड़ेगा ना।
पोल्यूशन की स्थिति तो बहुत ख़राब है, जैसा कि हम सब जानते हैं कि सीवियर कैटेगरी में दिल्ली का पोल्यूशन है इस समय, तो स्थिति खराब है। इसमें बहुत सारी दिक्कतें आ रही हैं, खासतौर पर जो बीमार लोग हैं, जिनको सांस की बीमारी है, उनको बहुत तकलीफ हो रही है।
Delhi's air quality remained in the very poor category on Monday with an overall air quality index AQI at 370. According to SAFAR, Centre-run system of air quality and weather forecasting and research. Meanwhile, Delhi Environment Minister Gopal Rai on Monday, after a review meeting with officials of departments concerned, said the ban on construction and demolition activities in the city will continue till further orders in view of the high air pollution levels. Lower temperatures and a drop-off in wind speed leads to thick smog, which in turn traps pollutants from vehicles, industries and the burning of biomass.
Moving on, political activists and locals recently held a protest in Pakistan-administered Kashmir over rising inflation and dilapidated conditions of roads in the illegally occupied region. The protesters demanded immediate relief from Islamabad amid the frequent price rise of essential commodities that has made survival of the poor extremely difficult.
Political activists and locals recently held a protest in Pakistan-administered Kashmir over rising inflation and crumbling infrastructure in the illegally occupied region. The protesters demanded promised subsidy and relief from Islamabad, as they highlighted that the frequent price rise of essential commodities, including food and petrol, have adversely affected the people in the region. They also raised concern over poor condition of roads that have resulted in a number of road accidents.
पाकिस्तान ने यूएनओ के अंदर 46 अशिया पे लिख के दिया हुआ है कि ये रियासत के लोगों को इस पे सब्सिडी दी जाएगी। इसी तरह रोडों की जो खस्ता हाली है, जिस तरह यहाँ कुछ एक्सीडेंट हुए हैं जिनमें आपने बाकी पाकिस्तान के अजला में 20-20 लाख मरने वालों को और ज़ख्मियों को 10 लाख की ग्रांट दी है। यहाँ भी लोगों की जानें ज़ाया हुई हैं, क्योंकि ये रोडें आपके ठेकेदारों ने दे रखी हैं।
As part of conditions under a financing facility agreement with the International Monetary Fund, Pakistan government has withdrawn tax exemptions. Locals in Pakistan-administered Kashmir accuse instead of providing relief to the already backward territory. Economic losses being faced by Pakistan due to policy paralysis are also being compensated from regions under its illegal control.
The Islamic Emirate and European Union delegates held a two-day meeting in Doha discussing the situation in Afghanistan and particularly the way forward this past weekend. During the talks, the EU and Taliban voiced great concern about the deteriorating humanitarian situation in Afghanistan. The Taliban also asked for help in keeping Afghanistan's airports running.
The Islamic Emirate delegates led by Acting Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi and the EU delegates led by EU Special Representative for Afghanistan Thomas Nicholson held a two-day meeting in Qatari capital Doha this past weekend. Discussions on humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, health, security and safe passage for people wishing to travel out of Afghanistan were held in the meeting. The Taliban side recommitted to allowing Afghans and foreigners to leave if they wish so, but requested assistance for maintaining operations of airports so that could happen. The EU's European External Action Service said in its statement that the dialogue does not imply recognition by the EU of the interim Taliban government, but is part of EU's operational engagement in the interest of EU and the Afghan people. The EU side pressed the Taliban to create an inclusive government, foster democracy, ensure girls had equal access to schooling, and prevent Afghanistan serving as a base for any group that threatens the security of others. The Taliban reiterated they would uphold human rights in line with Islamic principles and would welcome back diplomatic missions that had closed. The meeting came ahead of 2 weeks of negotiations between the US and the Taliban beginning Monday in Doha. US Special Envoy for Afghanistan Thomas West will hold talks with the Taliban.
And in news from Nepal, the election process for Nepal's main opposition party, CPN-UML's new leadership began on Monday at its 10th National Congress in Chitwan district. The time to cast votes is until 3 a.m. local time on Tuesday. The counting of votes would be immediately started with the conclusion of the voting. Party chair and former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and his close confidants made every possible effort to end the 10th General Convention on a unanimous note. Unfortunately, the attempt was foiled by leader Bhim Rawal, who also decided to run against Oli for the post of party chief. The General Convention is mandated to elect the new Central Committee of the party for the next 5 years. A few important posts have already been filled as the leaders that were nominated for these posts faced no contenders. Ishwar Pokhrel has been elected the senior vice chair of the party unanimously. Shankar Pokhrel was elected party's general secretary. Similarly, Pradeep Gayawali, Prithvi Subha Gurung and Bishnu Rimal have also been elected deputy general secretaries sans contest. And more than 260 boxers, including a large number of young, enthusiastic female elite boxers, are participating in a 4-day-long boxing championship in India's northeastern Manipur state. The women players said they draw inspiration from Indian boxing legend Mary Kom and want to bring laurels to the nation like her.
A 4-day-long state-level boxing championship underway in India's northeastern state of Manipur is witnessing participation by more than 260 boxers, including a large number of young, enthusiastic women elite boxers. When asked about their decision to take up boxing, they said MC Mary Kom, who is an iconic figure in Indian women's boxing, inspired them. Many women boxers have made rapid strides inspired by Mary Kom and other women boxers.
Mary Kom gi Olympian magi 2012 ta Bournemouth sanagi adu boxing sanarudagi adu badagi aina aizu boxing sanani polaki adudagi Olympian ama Mary Kom dongna oini polaki adai sanagi
koi yagidaba kanda basi koi yarapa kanda basu koi sukimati koi nungai bahai tari sada koi sana bahai basina koi agang singi di sana daba kada madu moida performance the pi daba namara moida koi di boxing ni weight hengalakpa adagi sana badu ngasai stamina walakpa koi yumdul silbukan maduna koi khudong chanda mayam leba koi agang di ngasai world arena da dagi national arena pudo kada bi ri leba kada maduna mara moida koi apan pi habitat.
Manipur has produced innumerable sports personalities in the national as well as in the international arena. Over the years, the state has been a power center in Indian boxing. Championships like these further hone skills and sportsmanship qualities among the players. The event will conclude on November 30th.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Good night.